What a time to come back to do one of these videos when the first playoff match day is done and the international matches start back up. Yes. So, Akis Mantzios and the Cyprus FA doing big brain business by making sure they released the new head coach's first international call list after this last week's. This is Mappa normal recording time of Wednesday night. They did it on Thursday morning. Clever boys. Anyway, over on nc-network.com, Andrew Manzas has written up a more factual article on Manjos' first picks. But over here in my video, I'm going to tell you what I think. And woe betide those who disagree and do not comment, like, or subscribe. Play that lovely theme song.
He's gonna say some things. Cafes and flares. He's gonna say some things. Cafes and flares. You may not agree. Cafes and flares. He's still gonna say those things. Cafes and flares. Cafes and flares. Thassos talk Cyprus football. Woo!
Freaking hell, how long was that intro? Jesus Christ. It's night time. Anyway, we're going to talk about the national team selection. So here we go. Let's begin with the goalkeepers. It's fairly standard, I think. Joel Mal, Neofilos Mikhail, and Dimitriou. Joel Mal's performances with the national team have not been great so far, especially in the Timmy tenure. Like what I did there with the alliteration. Anyway, but not sure how much to blame that on him and how much is just the bin lorry fire that was whatever the hell that fever dream was. He was second fiddle to Frick at Servette for a lot of this season, which makes sense as Frick is the club captain there. But after an injury to the experienced goalkeeper, Mala has come back into the team and is now keeping the Frick out. Mikhail, while on the study at Buffers to Ivasic, he has played 8 games this season, has kept 5 clean sheets. Of the Cypriot goalkeepers available in the first division, he has the most games under his belt, but slim pickings. Because Dimitriou is probably the Cypriot goalkeeper with the second most appearances in the league this season, and he has 7, including 2 in the cup. And Apollon had that massive goalkeeping crisis in November, December, where rather than put their faith in the international goalkeeper that they've got, they instead decided to go with a German who hadn't played in 6 months. There's so little faith in Cypriot goalkeepers in general across the division. In fact, I can list the Cypriot goalkeepers who've played a game this season, and it won't even take that much time out of the video. Charalambos Kyriakidis at Omonia, he played 75 minutes in the cup versus Spartalos. Panayiotis Kyriakou at AEL made 3 appearances. Andreas Geravnos at Anorthosis, he made an appearance in one cup game versus Olympiakos. Yannis Galanidis for Nea Salamina, he played twice. So he's an understudy to not only Melissas, but also Daniel Antos. And we've made our thoughts well known on this network about how good Daniel Antos is at goalkeeping. Anyway, Alex Spogliarits for Karmelissa, he had 1 cup appearance. Panayiotis Panayiotou at Paralimni had 6 appearances. Konstantinos Panayi at Paralimni also was at 1 appearance. That was in the last game, the first game of the playoffs. Dimitris Stylianidis also has 1 appearance for Paralimni, and I think that was either when Adebayo got sent off or injured during the game, so he didn't even have a full appearance. And then Yorgos Papacharalambos at Omonia Radipo has 1 appearance, and that was because the second choice goalie, which is Peixoto, got injured in like the 60th minute in one game, so Papacharalambos had to come on. So it looks like if you want game time as a Cypriot goalkeeper, it looks like your best bet is Paralimni. Uh, Now, obviously, because first division, there's not a lot going on for goalkeepers from Cyprus. We have to go either to Olympiacos or Akritas in second and third place in the second division before we hit a goalkeeper who's playing week in, week out. And the Olympiacos goalkeeper is the Gianluigi Buffon from Wish goalkeeper, Thassos Kisas. So he's like 45 or however old he is. So the next person is the Akritas goalkeeper, Andreas Theogli. Now his experience so far is at Beja for a big period of time, and before that he was in the Paphos youth teams. So he's doing wonders at Akritas this season so far. Now, there is one hope, and I'm not counting Fabiano in all of this because he's old as Methuselah. So, he's not really an option to take forward for the national team. However, we do have a 19-year-old who's been picked for the under 21s this time, and that is Gabriel Ortelli. Now, obviously, he needs a bit more experience playing first team football, but he's been doing very well for the under 23s at Watford, and his under 19 performances have been good enough to warrant a call up to the under 21s. So good on him. Now, we've got the defenders. So, Panayotou at Omonia, fairly straightforward pick. He's been pretty solid all season for the club. Although, obviously, the central defensive pairing at Omonia is rather fluid at the moment. Helander's getting into the team. Koulibaly is obviously doing stuff. Anyway, Panayotou is always in the conversation. Laifis at Abuel has probably been included for experience. I mixed the start of the words there. Anyway, he's been included for experience, but his performances have been, if we're being nice here, and I'm going to be nice, not up to his high standard. Now, on top of that, he's also not going to play versus San Marino since he's suspended thanks to the sending off versus Romania. But he also has a little bit of a niggle. He came off in the 87th minute or something like that when Abuel played Aris in the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see how that develops. Ileas Abafo is a very good player. However, has sadly been ignored and left to rot on the bench for Bafo. It's mind-blowing to me that Carcedo would rather play Vlad Dragomir in the left-back position when he has someone with the standard of Bilea sat on the bench. But anyway, I'm not the coach, and they're in first place, so I'm not going to get more involved in that. Now, originally, Andreo from Charleroi was picked. However, he's now pulled out because of a knock. So instead, Evaoras Antonio has been picked, and I'm so happy for him. He got shipped off on loan from Abuel to Moniaradipo. Obviously, whoever was in charge at that time didn't think highly of him enough to think he should be in the squad. But January came round, there were some releases to the squad, and Antonio was requested back. And as soon as he came back, he's been in the first team since. He's been one of the bright sparks this season for Abuel. And my God, do we need him? And yeah, I'm looking forward to him decking Dean Dzeko when the game comes along. Now, we've got Christos Shellis. He's at Panetolikos in Greece. And he's been getting on with his career quietly in Greece, playing at Volos and Panetolikos after being released by Levski Sofia after 6 months, who signed him from Apoel. I actually referenced him previously, I think, as a possible solution to the right back issue we have in the national team when Timmy was losing his mind and playing Sachas and Giriago there instead. The last time he was picked was in October 2020, which is insane considering this guy's been turning out for teams in the Super League 1 in Greece almost non-stop since summer 22. Malakidis for Apollon, Cyprus Gareth Bale. Any questions? No. Good. Next. Anderson Correa for Aris. Did anybody else hear that? Anyway. And then we've got Shikis Omonia Radipo. And he gets his first international call-up. And the 23-year-old has some very solid appearances for Omonia Radipo this season. An attacking fullback. So I mean, we're full of attacking fullbacks, so they're mostly on the left, but we've got one on the right now as well, which means Mantzios is maybe going for something a bit more adventurous. I don't know. We'll see. He's 23 and he's already had 100 appearances for Mariaradipo. He's having a great time at the moment. Also, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slot in a little jump cut here from on the first video I did where I said, hey, maybe have a look at this kid. Just, here we go. Scream wipe. At the moment. So, we've got a couple of players to keep an eye on. One of them is Andreas Shikis, who's at Omonia Radipo, who's currently playing in the Cyprus under-21s as well. Hey, look at that. Magic. And look, I know I'm wearing the same jumper in that video from before, but look, see this is different. This is different, you know. Also, I believe the sun was shining in that video, so you know. Now, next thing we've got is your midfielders. So first of all, we've got Hector Cipriano. He's back. Yes, the Peterborough captain in the centre of midfield. Has been having a great couple of months, putting in some very solid performances. No further notes. We've also got Sachas from Apoel. When he's played for Apoel, he's been fairly solid. For some reason, despite Abanya being injured, and sometimes, let's call it what it is, disastrous performances of the centre midfield area for Apoel, he's not getting a look in. He needs many more minutes. I suspect he's also been brought in as a backup for the national team as well. We've got Artematas at Anorthosis. I've been negative about Artematas' inclusion previously, mostly this time last season, and that was due to his injuries and lack of playing time. The captain at Anorthosis and the international team has had a pretty solid season so far, despite the turbulence at Anorthosis, and is worth the inclusion. I know, shock horror. Thassos admits he's wrong. Anyway, Haralambos, Ammonia again. I mean, fine. To be fair, he is a better option, I think, in that attacking midfield role than Gastanos at Hellas Verona. The guy's not even starting for him. I would like us to take him off the pedestal he's on. His performances for the national team have never been great. I don't know, maybe try him at right back? And then finally, to the surprise inclusion, I think, in midfield is Kostis at Levadiagos. Bit left field for me. He's shown plenty of promise when he was at Salamina, to the point where Olympiacos Piraeus splashed €500,000 on him to bring him to Greece. He's had a series of loans before he was released in January 2024, where he joined Levadiagos. This season in particular has been a very strong one for him at the club, which with Mantzios coming in for Aris, Thessaloniki, sorry, Aris Thessalonikis, not our Aris, that Aris. We would know a little bit about him. But yeah, Kostis was last picked in summer 2020. That was when Johan Valen was in charge. Remember him? Do you remember him? Anyway, the day of recording this is his 25th birthday, so happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And the rest. Uh, and and then and then the main event. Just give me 6 of these guys up front. San Marino versus San Marino is scoring 40. We are so stacked up front, but I have to start first with the one who is there, I think, mostly for the big game experience to help the players who are younger, hungrier, kind of, I don't know, do something, and that's Piero Sodirio, Apoel. Now, I love him for what he did at Apoel, and but he's still trying to get fit. The Japanese season finished in November. He signed in January. He's not really got a look in because of El Arabi and Drazic. Again, it's another one of those signings, one of those marquee, big ego, big head signings that Mr. Mushroom Man has done. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about the national team. And I think Sodirio is not fit, and he's not been playing for Apoel. So his position could have been taken by, say, Theodorou, or if you really want to be brave, Evagoras Haralambous at Anorthosis, or even you can have a look at Antonio Fodi at the Borussia Dortmund reserves. Anyway, let's go back to the 6. If they were a steak, you'd be like. So, Stavros Gavrila, Zulte Waregem. In his last 12 league games for Zulte, the 23-year-old has scored 5 goals and provided 4 assists. That's nothing. That's really good. It's really good. We've got Johnny's, who's in Romania at the moment. He made his first start for the club last weekend, and he bagged a goal for him as well. You've got Raul Sodirio at Bristol Rovers. He's been having a pretty good season so far, getting in the assists and the goals. You've got Loizua Omonia, standard. You've got Gagulis, who is at AEK. That's also a standard one, especially after his big signing. Big things are expected of him now, and he can start by bagging a hat-trick versus San Marino. Imagine. And then, obviously, we've got Mr. Johnny Bread. Mr. Johnny Bread! Ioannis Bitas! Yes! At CSK Sofia. The most standard of the standard picks. Since signing for Sofia at the beginning of February, he's bagged 3 goals and an assist in 7 games for them, and they have not lost in any of the games he started. So to be fair to Manjos, it's a pretty solid pick. So 6 points? 6 points maybe? I don't know. For sure, it's the hope that kills you. And now, the end is near. You have to click the like and subscribe buttons, my friends. Put a comment there, and maybe I'll respond to them. And that's the end of that. I'm not singing the rest of it. But like I said, like I sang. Did a little like, did a little subscribe, did a little comment. It's the algorithm thing that we have to think about as well. Pay me! Another thing, one more thing. Is there is there anything more Cypriot than a dad with a skembe in an ill-fitting tracksuit top? I don't think so. I think he's one of us.